Hello and welcome to the University of Law. In today's video I'm going to be unboxing and kind of reviewing Hooklight 1. The reason why I'm not completely reviewing it is because Big Finish have requested that we keep spoilers to a minimum, because there are many people who are perhaps looking to listen to Hooklight 1 and 2 together in one sitting. So I'm going to respect that, and this is my spoiler-free review. I'm going to give a full spoiler review of both sets together. Now, this kind of works because it's essentially it is one big story. It's a 12-part story that happens to be told organised over two 6-part sets. So very similar to The Last Day of the Seventh Doctor that came out last year. So this arrived in the post today. I've already listened to it on release day. Got a lovely little Vortex magazine, so do check that out, either with your physical CD, or it can be accessed freely on the app, or via the website, the Big Finish website. Now, a little disclaimer just to start us off, which is there are certain Doctors I'm more excited about than others at Big Finish. I'm really excited always for the 6th, 7th, 8th War in particular, because they're Doctors who weren't particularly well defined on screen, in the sense that they never got to finish their eras. Well, in the case of 6, 7, 8, they never got to finish their eras. They never got to see that character journey through. With the War Doctor, we never kind of saw his journey full stop. So for me, Big Finish is a great way of exploring those Doctors, and especially for the actors of both the Doctors and the companions to carry on with those characters, with those stories, and tell us those, go on that journey that they didn't get to on screen. Now, for me, the 5th Doctor and his companions is a very strong era on television, and so Big Finish is more like a pudding after a really nice meal, whereas for the 6th, 7th, 8th Doctors, the TV was more of a starter, and Big Finish is the main course. So that analogy aside, I listen to the 5th Doctor stuff because I do enjoy the 5th Doctor. I do enjoy the companions. I'm a completist. I like to listen to everything with each character. I'm really invested in the characters, so I always get all the 5th Doctor stuff, but I'm never as excited usually. When I heard about a 12-part story, I wasn't entirely fussed, and I have to say this is so far my favourite release of the year, and that is saying something, because there's been some great releases so far these first 3-4 months, and I think it's on track probably with the 2 sets to be my favourite of the year at the moment. I can't see how anything could better this. I think Big Finish at the moment is going through a really exciting period. I haven't been this excited about Big Finish since probably around 2014, when they were doing the Eminence stuff, and I loved how that would cross-pollinate between different ranges. We get to explore these characters and these stories and this epic world building. And around that time, we were starting to get the Dark Eye stuff, and Doom Coalition, the War Doctor stuff. So it was a really exciting period, and I've never felt it's quite been captured again. There was an element of it with Dalek Universe was quite cool. There was a lot of like the mechanoid stuff, and that fed into the Time of Victorious, and there was a lot of nice connections going on then. But at the moment, I'm really excited because this is the most excited I've been about a range since Doom Coalition, which was always my highlight. I think this could potentially beat Doom Coalition. I'm so excited about the potential of this story. But also, I'm loving at the moment the Zygon stuff that's appearing in its own range, and the Paternoster range, and the Torchwood range. I'm loving how it's all just connecting in. So I'm really excited about Big Finish at the moment, and to me, this is like the icing on the cake at the moment. Now, no spoilers. It's the first 6 episodes of a 12-part story. Listening to it, because usually I listen to the teaser on the end of the podcast, and for some reason I'm not sure whether I missed it or whether, I'm not sure how I missed out on that, but I didn't listen to the podcast that week, so I didn't hear the behind the scenes extras either. And straight away, this epic story is very much, I was getting Lord of the Rings vibes, I was getting Isaac Asimov vibes. What's that? Foundation. I was getting real Foundation vibes, particularly with the Emperor character in this. Then listening to the behind the scenes, it turns out that I believe it's Tim Foley. It was, Tim Foley who wrote this. He was going for, because of these characters being 80s characters, he was going very much for 80s audio, 80s drama, and that's why obviously there was a lot of adaptations of Lord of the Rings and that kind of thing. He also mentioned Dune, which I'm not very familiar with, but Dune was an influence on this as well. So it's bringing all those it really is an epic, and it flew by, and this story will easily sustain 12 episodes, and each episode is engaging with twists and turns. There's nothing sagging at all. There's no padding in there at all. It's been so well developed. The characters have been separated really well. So many interesting stories, really engaging guest cast. Great use of all three companions, and all three actors shine in terms of the performance, but also the writing and the direction as well. So it's just an all-round 10 out of 10 box set in by every metric. I guess these are spoilers because I'm telling you how brilliant it is. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. And as I say, just everything in there has a purpose, and everything in there is enjoyable and entertaining and moves the story along. And every point in it, world builds, and it's building not just geographically but also historically as well. Putting connections, you're kind of working things out. It's getting the brain moving. It's a really engaging story, and there are some Big Finish stories that you listen to and you enjoy them, and there are some that you really need to engage with, and this is one that you engage with. All of them have their place, but it's really nice to have this one as one that you engage with. So that's my review over my spoiler-free one, and as I say, I'm going to be talking in a little bit more detail about it when the second volume comes out, because by that point, by the time my CD arrives, I'm sure many of you, if you haven't already, will have listened to both of the sets and all 12 episodes. What I will say is, obviously, it's entirely up to you. I'm glad I've done it this way around, because I'm really enjoying the anticipation period. I was so excited, and as I said, because I wasn't expecting it to be as brilliant as it was, I've been kind of so overwhelmed that I'm living with it in my head at the moment. I'm thinking about it. I think that's the great thing with a good story is that, and you don't often get this with Big Finish box sets, and it's great now that this one's been separated over 2 volumes, is that you get that time to breathe and think and reflect and process, which again, I remember with Doom Coalition, they were the box sets that I would listen to again and again and again in the run up to the next set. And I'll be doing that again with this one for sure. I'm just really enjoying how in this period in between sets, you can just process things and think about things. So I would say, if you're on the fence and you haven't listened to it yet, I would suggest there is a benefit to kind of having that suspense. And for me, it's a really nice part of the experience. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you just like to hear it all at once. But I'm really enjoying it at the moment, that building of suspense, the waiting game. So obviously we've got episodes 1 and 2 on disc 1, 80s logo, booklets, picture of the cast list, oh, what's happened here? Disc is falling out. So that is parts 3 and 4, 5 and 6. What do you think of this set? Do let me know in the comments below. Are you listening to it like I did in 2 parts, or are you going to listen to it all in one go? Do let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember in the comments, no spoilers. Let's honour Big Finish's request there. So always don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to speaking to you soon.